Simon Barwick. I'm Managing Director of bdhSterling, here with Nick Bond. Nick, there were a lot of changes that came up to April last year in 2015 that had a significant impact on the QROPS industry and pension transfers generally. What do you give us a bit of a background on what those major changes were?
Sure. The biggest change was HMRC bringing in the pension age test. That was applied as of April 6, 2015. As a result, it meant that some schemes were not able to qualify for QROPS status. There was a bit of uncertainty between April and July as to whether schemes would be given that QROPS status or not. Then as of July the 1st, a number, thousands of schemes were removed from the HMRC QROPS list.
And those schemes included both retail funds and SMSFs?
Correct, yeah. So as a result, on the 1st of July, there was one Australian scheme remaining on the QROPS list. All the SMSFs, all the retail schemes have been removed by HMRC.
And then post July, what was happening in the market at that time? Obviously, it was a big shock.
Yeah.
So what was happening behind the scenes?
Well, there was a lot of uncertainty still from the 1st of July. Would we be able to transfer? Wouldn't we? There was a number of individuals lobbying HMRC to try and determine whether or not transfers would be able to take place. Some of the large retail funds were trying to determine whether they'd be able to accept transfers. And then as of September 2015, it became apparent that we were able to transfer for individuals over 55 as they fitted in with the new pension age test requirements.
So really, how would you then describe, post September then we had an environment where you could transfer potentially to a QROPS SMSF from a UK pension fund. So can you explain what a QROPS self-managed super fund is?
Sure. Plain and simply, it's a self-managed super fund that is recognised by HMRC and is able to accept UK transfers. There's a special trustee put in place that fits in with the pension age test requirements. Ultimately, anyone age over 55 is able to set up that QROPS SMSF.
And there are some restrictions then, with the underlying investments as well, aren't there?
Sure. One big example is residential property within an SMSF QROPS. You have to comply with UK rules. Under UK rules, you're not allowed to purchase residential property within your pension fund.
How would you explain the BDH advice process regarding QROPS SMSFs?
So it's two stages really. The first stage is look at the UK pension, determine whether or not it's in the client's best interest to move that fund across. We do some in-depth analysis through our licensed UK office.
And how's that delivered?
We produce a rather comprehensive report outlining the pros and cons of moving the fund to an Australian scheme. We go into detailed fact-finding as to what the client's intentions are into the future, provide the individual with the report, and they're able to make an informed decision based on our recommendation of whether or not they should be transferring to an Australian scheme.
And that's right, and then that ties in on this side from the Australian advice, doesn't it?
That's right. Then on the Australian side of things, we produce a statement of advice, and in there we will be recommending the QROPS SMSF. We talk about how it's transferred and what the options are within the SMS.
And what happens then with those residual funds, while they're still over in the UK?
Sure. We have a number of options, so we can invest those funds. As I say, it might be a long-term situation whereby it's a number of years before the transfer goes, so we can invest those funds in either sterling or Australian dollars. Within the UK.
And we can also transfer out on those currencies, can't we?
That's right, yeah. The individual's got the option of transferring to the SMSF in sterling if they're not happy with the exchange rate at that point in time, or the SMSF is able to accept dollars that have already been converted by the UK pension scheme.
And what happens, look, as you've mentioned, the QROPS SMSF really is for over 55s. So if you're under 55 at the moment, what are your options?
Well, again, we'll look at the pros and cons of whether ultimately the fund should be moved to an Australian scheme. If it is in the individual's best interest, we do have a few options for them in the UK, particularly people who've got a number of UK schemes floating around. We can look at consolidating them into one pension scheme, and within that pension scheme we've got the option of converting into dollars or holding in sterling, and likewise investing in dollars or investing in sterling, preparing for that transfer.
That ultimate transfer on current rules.
Yeah, a lot of people with the exchange rate, how it's improved since the dark days of 2013 when it was 1.45, a lot of people have taken the decision to buy dollars now while the exchange rate's at a reasonable level, and we're investing those funds in Australian dollar portfolios.
So, if you do have any questions regarding the over 55 SMSFs, please do visit our website www.bdhSterling.com. Contact us, you can download our free pension pack, and please forward any questions to us.